I'm Amy Erixon. I run the investment management division at Avison Young Commercial Real Estate here in Canada, and I just finished moderating the Global Investors Panel at this year's REIT conference. We had an interesting array of investor members on the panel, people who are active in the Canadian market, as well as people who are active in Canada and the United States, doing the US only, and also Europe and Canada, exclusively and jointly. So we discussed a wide array of strategies that people are deploying in order to complement their Canadian portfolio and to provide access to those more quickly growing markets outside of Canada. We also had a presentation at the start by Corrado Russo of Timber Creek, who manages a global REIT portfolio, setting the stage with a lot of facts and figures about what kinds of things investors in the different markets look for and what those companies offer for Canadian investors. So we covered off a variety of topics ranging from whether people hedge their currency, how they manage volatility related to global news flashes such as Greece's debt crisis and the most recent run against the Chinese stock market, and how they communicate with investors both in their initial IPO process and also with follow-on offerings. So all in all, I think it was an extremely interesting panel, and I think the audience learned a lot about global investing from our august panelists. Well, I think that in general there was a consensus that the US is a little easier to understand because it's more similar to Canada, and most Canadians are familiar with how the currency volatility works and how the leases work. It's, English speaking and so on, and that it's more challenging going to other parts of the world, particularly Asia, but even in Europe, that the business practices and lease structures are quite a bit different, and that it's important to have local teams when you're going into regions of the world that are dissimilar to Canada.